brand new. I asked an American Indian, who invented the bow and arrow? You know, my great-grandfather told me that his grandfather used to skin bears and put it out in the sun. And when he came back, the skin shrunk. So they cut leather strips with natural obsidian, natural glass. And when you cut the strip of leather, long and thin, put it out in the sun, it became short and fat. So the Indian tied it to a twig of a tree, tied it top and bottom. So when it would attempt to shrink, it would not shrink that much. But if the twig was too thin, it made a bow. So leather shrunk. Do you know what I mean? So this guy got angry at Prince. He got angry at me. Yeah, what about the movie camera? Well, I said, that's going to take longer to explain. I've been spending most of my life trying to find out. He said, I got all the time in the world. So I said, the Chinese, 1,000 years ago, used to cut a girl out of paper called the dancing girl. It was like that. Her hands were like that, and her legs were together. And the Chinese made that, and they put the little girl and painted it black on the table. If you put a candle about 10 inches away from that girl, as the candle flickered, the girl danced. I don't know if you understand that. The light shifts over and back, and the girl danced. If there were 3 candles there, you had 3 dancing girls. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, nobody ever sat down and invented a movie camera. They invented that. And then the Chinese made paper called bamboo paper. And they took all the pages and bound them together. And they write the Chinese character in the corner of the paper so they know what page they have different things on it. But if you happen to flip it there, that character that you wrote jumped all over the page. I don't know if you know that. How many of you know that? Thank you. Oh, one Chinese artist drew a bird with the wings and down in the corner of the pad and went and the bird did this. Do you understand that? And serially, over many, many years, the movie camera was a result of many little bits, one after the other. Nobody sits down and thinks, I make a movie camera. The brain can't do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? The whole idea that people, they say, hey, he's very imaginative, he has a great imagination. There is no such thing as imagination. All the bullshit you get in your schools are false today, except the scientific stuff, formulas and things that I taught, chemistry, some of it's useful. But the fact that we have eyes to see with is a myth. We have eyes and we see. Little worms have very weak eyes all over their body, but they're not all equally distributed. Sometimes more little spots are up front, so when the worm sticks his head out of the ground, if it's a bird, he pulls it back. If he has spots of eye spots all over his body, that doesn't help him when he sticks his head out of it. Do you understand? So those are the worms that survive. In school they tell you that plants grow. That's a lie. Plants can't grow unless there's sunlight, temperature, soil, rich soil, nutrients, and water. Without that, they do not go, nor can they grow. So all things are shoved by other things. A sailboat does not sail. It's acted upon by the wind. It's moved by the wind. But how did the guy invent that? He stood up one windy day in his boat, and he was pushed ashore. And he opened his shirt, and he went to the shore faster. That's where it came from. Nobody sat down and said, got to make a sailboat. There's no way the brains can do that. Think about what I'm talking about. Then you'll find out most of your schools are full of shit. They don't deal with reality. They come from an old world. And even if you have new ideas, you can't express them. Because you got to stick to the curriculum. Yes. The Bible says, honor thy father and mother. I say, honor any human being worthy of honor. Your father and mother can be full of shit too. They can be racist, bigots, everything else. So, you honor any human being worthy of honor, not your mom and papa. No, I don't believe in depopulation. I believe in educating the public. Why don't you put 10,000 people on the boat? Because it'll sink. The displacement of that boat determines how many people you can put on, not Fresco. And if you want to take 400 people, put them in a spaceship, it won't get off the ground. You have to figure what the thrust is, how much thrust you can develop in a spaceship. And when the government came up to scientists and said, can you put a man on the moon? The first thing they said is, I don't know.
Someone has failed to sign.
What's your opinion about, like, the possibility of national?
Well, I'm going to answer that for you. I met a man that came to my session from England. He came from. He said to me, on the nature level, is what he said to me. And I said, you mean you like earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, and tornadoes? He said, no. I said, what do you mean by nature level? None of us love nature. We like certain things about nature. Does that make sense? Now, sometimes a girl says, I'm in love. I've heard those words all my life. That's another bullshit word, love. Give me a chance before you get angry. Is there anybody here that likes everything they've ever done in their lives? Well, one here. Okay. So sometimes you like yourself, sometimes a little less, sometimes what a stupid thing I did. So think of what would happen if you lived with a replica of yourself. How long would you be together? You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Not what you get in books, novels, movies, all bullshit. So I'm saying there is other ways of thinking about things, but you need help. When a man takes his belt off and whips his kid, is he bad? No. He doesn't know any other way to get to them. He says, do what your daddy says. If he doesn't, so he whips him, because his daddy whipped him. He doesn't know. And here's something else that you didn't know. Nobody ever makes a mistake in their life. And let me elaborate on that. The first guy was a chemist. He took nitric acid and glycerin and was stirring, playing with it. And the building disappeared, so did the guy. And his brother-in-law wrote, never flew with that stuff. There's no other way to know. That's what I mean by nobody ever makes mistakes. But the Frenchman used to watch birds fly. And he said, if only I could fly like a bird. So he built 2 wings, about 3 feet long on each side, with a sleeve in it to put his arm in to beat. And he jumped off the top of the Eiffel Tower, and he died. And his brother-in-law wrote, make wings larger next time. There is no way to know if you're going in a new direction. Do you understand that? When I say nobody ever makes a mistake in their life.
Yeah.
You don't make a mistake. You don't know. Some Swedish chemist was trying to make metal stronger. So he mixed nickel, titanium, among other things. 50% nickel and 50% titanium, and bent it into the leather U, and left it on the table near a bright lamp. And it went back, straightened itself out. And today it's called a memory metal. Nobody ever sat down and said, got to make metal with a memory. You can't do that. You can discover certain things and extrapolate. Do you understand that? 90% of the people wearing eyeglasses here, their eyeglasses are distorted. They're pressed on by the frame shrinks and distort your eyeglasses. I wish I had my polariscope here, but with polarized light, you can see the frame pressing on your lenses, and you see lines. Every eyeglass I've ever examined was distorted. The answer to that, you make a huge frame and free silicone that flows around, so there's no local pressure on the glass. So somebody had raised their hand and said, how did Galileo invent the telescope? He didn't invent the telescope. When lightning hits sand on the beach, it fuses into a crude form of glass. I don't know if you know that. And the because it happened to be slightly curved. When you pick it up, the sand got larger. So he picked up two of them and put them in the suitcase. He didn't sit down and go, wait, the telescope so I can see the places of the moon. That's impossible. Man cannot think or reason. They can only think within the frame of their culture.